Hey everybody, this is Rapping Sports with Jax from the J today to the X and X. Go over to the website. How we doing today? We're going to talk about the Jets, and I'm going to get in on the Jets draft. This is going to be a fun year, I can tell you that right now. But I'm one of the guys that's still in Darnold's camp. Now, obviously, if Deshaun Watson, if you have a chance to get him, of course, you're going to have to give them a whole bunch. They're probably going to want at least four draft picks, if not 3 first-round draft picks, and 2 active players from the roster. And, Williams is on there, and he's one of them. So, I don't know. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. Now, Watson, I just don't think they're going to trade him. I really don't. At least they're going to come off saying that, because that makes them more valuable by not making it look like they're in panic. So that we can't really tell. I don't think Watson's like Jamal Adams, a big baby that pretty much babied his way out of New York. But I don't care. He got us 2 draft picks. So I think the Jets are going to make out in a long run on that. But Watson doesn't seem like the type of person that will do that. Of course, money talks, and maybe Houston will give him a little more money, and he'll finally get to meet the new coach. Maybe he'll have a change of heart. So in my mind, I'm going to think that he's not going to be a Jet. What I'm willing to give up, I don't know, 4 draft picks. I mean, I know everyone's saying that you can get maybe a number 1 pick for Darnold, which is telling you something about Darnold. Other teams are interested in him and might be willing to pay him money and might be willing to take a chance. So why can't the Jets take a chance? I mean, got to remember, he's only 23 years old, and he can make all the throws. He can throw deep. He can throw on the run. He can run. But he does have getting used to a system every year is kind of confusing. He's been in there. He's had 3 different coaches already, I believe, 3 different systems, and it's hard for any quarterback to learn on that. So hopefully with the new coach coming in, maybe they can work on that in time. But anyway, yeah, I guess if you get a chance to get Watson and you don't really have to take anyone, because I don't like the idea of taking Williams. I know. I mean, you got Williams and Fatukasi up in front, so that's nice, right? So you could take your 2nd-round pick, which is like a 1st-round pick, and maybe you can draft a defensive end up there, or maybe in your 20 for Seattle's pick, maybe you could take Jalen Phillips and throw them with Fatukasi and with Williams, and that's a nice young front right there. So there's a lot of things. Jets need a lot of players, and you're going to give up 4 draft picks. And I thought the Jets' plan was to rebuild. I realized Douglas is in here now, and I thought his plan was to rebuild. 4 draft picks. You got a chance to really get some players around. I mean, you got the next, after Lawrence, you have the next best college guys. I mean, you can figure that out. And I'm not a firm believer in the quarterbacks that they want. You have Fields and Wilson, which seem to be the 2 top quarterbacks. If I'm missing somebody else, you guys can tell me. Leave it in the comments. But Fields, he goes through the same funks that Darnold goes through, except for at the college level. At least Fields is doing it maybe against the Patriots. I mean, Fields is doing it against Indiana, while Darnold's doing it against the Patriots with no talent, and with not a lot, I shouldn't say no talent, but not a lot of talent. And at one point, Gase was his coach. So, you know what I mean? So, and he can make every throw that Fields can make. He can run a little bit like Fields. He does not meant to run, but you know what he can do. He can move around. He moves around the ball. He can throw on the run. We've seen it. So, to me, going for him, taking Fields and replacing him, nah, doesn't work. Wilson, who did he play? I mean, I know he has the talent and the tools, but who did he really play? What if he was playing Alabama, his games against Alabama and LSU and some of the big guys? He couldn't even beat Coastal Carolina. Now, I know it's not all his fault, and he didn't play awful in the game, but he wasn't also good enough to pick them up so they can beat Coastal Carolina. And I'm not even talking about just the one game. Other games, the competition that he plays is nowhere near at least what Fields plays. At least Fields, when he went into funk, it was against a decent higher division team. So, and any throw that he makes, Darnold can make. So I don't get it. And Darnold, remember, he's only 23, and he's been under 3 different damn systems already. You got to give the guy some talent, I think. And you got to stick with the plan. If you're going to rebuild, Darnold was your quarterback. He's a 3rd-round pick. You're never going to get a 3rd-rounder back. You could get a low 1st round according to some of the sports writers out there, But that could also be the Jets bullshitting, trying to get the pickup. Now, there are some teams that do need Darnold. Like, I think he would be a good quarterback for the Redskins. I also think he might be good out there in San Francisco. That's, he played in USC, so he might do good out there. So, but my thought is to keep Darnold and think of the team as still having Darnold right now. I think if Douglas talks with the coaching staff and for some reason there's a change of heart, I really don't believe they're going to draft the other two quarterbacks. Now, if you have a chance to get Watson in, you'll lose all the draft picks, but then you got to count on the cap space that you got. And then you do have Allen Robinson out there. You got Juju Schuster out there, which might not mind having Watson throw the ball to him. And then you already have Crowder and you already have Mims. You got your talent you need. You got 3 talented receivers, and you're already upgraded. Also, the Jets can still draft Sewell, another tackle, even though I thought that's the whole mess up with this thing. Font actually had a decent year last year. Not spectacular, not great, but I think he was better than C average. So he had a decent year. So do you really want to put another tackle there? Maybe go for another position so you can also draft Smith if you're in the draft. The Jets just have so many things, and my preference is to keep the draft picks. I don't even mind trading down a little bit because you can still get a decent receiver. Smith might be around for a while because I think whoever Jets trade the second-round draft pick to probably wants a quarterback. So, and I think Cincinnati will snatch Sewell, so if you go behind them, you won't get him. But you can find a nice receiver up there, and Smith might be around, so you can grab Smith. And then you have Smith and Mims, 2 good young receivers for years to come. And they're going to be working with Darnold, which is still only 22 years old, with a better offensive line, hopefully. Then the 20th pick, or the Seattle pick, I get mixed up which number it is, you can either go for a cornerback to help your cornerbacks out, and you can pick Jason Horn, or you can go with Jalen Phillips, as I was saying before, and then you have a nice young potential beginning of a front 4 because he likes to play the 4-3. So you have the 2. Now you throw him in there, and then that's another place where you maybe look for a free agent. And the Jets instantly have some talent on the team. And I'm not even talking about the 34th pick, which is technically to me a first-round pick because you're going to get the guy that somebody missed. So you can get yourself an offensive guard there. You can also go to free agent to buy an offensive guard. I just think you can do so much more things keeping Darnold than trading Darnold because it's going to be harder for free agents. First, you're going to want them to get there. I think if you get Watson, though, I think Robinson would come in a heartbeat if the Jets want him and they pay him some money, of course, and they could. And that would be nice because if you have Robinson with Mims and Crowder, that's talented receiving core right there. So that's not bad. And then you have Deshaun Watson throwing the ball, but you might not have those extra draft picks to get a guard, so you're going to have to get a guard in free agency. So if you do that, you have to come up with a guard, especially if you can get one to go next to Mims and make that side of the line powerful. I can see that dreaming in my head where they can just run the ball. They can look for a running back if they want to do that. But I say the best way with the Jets is either draft a tackle or running back in that spot. I'd be happy either way. But I think you're better off going with the Darnold way. And maybe if Darnold can play a couple years in the system, don't worry so much about the money. I know a lot of Jet fans, he gets small. He'll get a bigger contract next year. Unless the Jets go 5-something next year and don't really improve that big, then maybe I worry. But I'm not going to worry about the money because you can always, I guess you can always trade him at that point. Or you can move him around. People are always going to take a chance with someone like Darnold because he's still very young. Maybe you won't get that first-round pick that was being thought of, but you never know. But with me, I say stick with Darnold, draft Smith, and then you got a nice receiving crew for a long time. Draft another defensive end if he has potential, and then you put him with the other young guys there, and then that's 2 talent positions you have with extra talent players right there. So that would be nice. Then you take that 34th pick, and that's where the mystery is, but I think you can pop an offensive lineman. So you have to take the best offensive lineman possible out there, and then you can have somebody next to Becton, and that would be nice. So that would give you 3 talented players in your lineup right away, and I like to see it. I like to see them do that. And then you still have a couple more very high picks. You pick them, and then you hope 3 of the 2, out of the 5 picks they have up there, you hope 3 of them stick, even 2 of them stick. That really comes out to be good players. At the same time, in the back, you got May, which you have to sign him, and you'll be good. You'll be set at the safety position. You can even buy another safety out there, because I would imagine Salah probably has people that he knows that might want to play for him. You know what I mean? So stick with Darnold. If you do get a chance to do Watson, I guess you got to do it. It'd almost be crazy. You'll regret not doing it. But I just don't think Texas really wants to trade him. I really believe that they want to figure a way to keep him here. And until that point, I'm going to say Darnold's the quarterback. I just don't think they're going to take the other guys. And I really want no part of Wilson. I don't like the overall competition he played through his college career, so I don't trust it. At least Fields played some tough games. He played in, Alabama, Ohio, Michigan, and he played some tough teams over. And I question what Wilson has. So I definitely don't want to see him here. I'd rather just stick with Darnold. I have confidence in him. I think if you give him a little bit of block and a little bit more talent, he'll be all right. Anyway, I'm going to end it up. But it is going to be fun with what the Jets do. I guess when free agency comes, that might give you an idea of what they're going to do. Because if they buy, if they get an offensive lineman right quick, then they might draft receiver. But if they get a receiver really fast, then they'll probably draft an offensive lineman. You can almost get a hint what's going to happen when the free agency comes up, because I believe that comes up before the draft. So see how it goes. Anyway, we'll end the show here. This is Rapid Sports with Jax, from the J to the A to the X to the X. Go over to the website. Please give us a like. Hey, leave comments. Love comments. I'll answer back as soon as I can. And until the next show, talk to you later. Bye.